Did you know that the idea of periodic table came to Dmitri Mendeleev in a dream? Or that the concept of human flight was invented by Leonardo da Vinci by spending countless hours watching the birds? In these two examples of creative geniuses lies a powerful process. In this video, we're going to take a look at what their process is and how our minds are able to link unrelated inputs and turn them into creative masterpieces. Stay tuned. The process that we're going to talk about in today's video is called stimulus-response association. This is a connection which is formed between what we input from our environment, which could be any sensory input like a smell, a taste, a touch, anything, and how we react to that or respond to that in the form of our action. This connection between the two is what's called the stimulus-response association. For example, imagine you are passing by on a busy street and you see a bakery and you start smelling the freshly baked bread. And as you pass by further, you start looking at the beautifully decorated pastries inside the bakery. And right away you develop a craving to have one. This is a perfect example of this connection between what we input from our environment, now in this case the smell and the look of the pastries, and then how we react to it, how we respond to it, which is a craving to have one. This connection or the concept is known as stimulus-response association. This idea was amazingly presented by Ivan Pavlov, a Russian neurologist and physiologist, in one of his famous lectures on the work of digestive glands. Pavlov conducted an experiment on dogs to demonstrate the concept of classical conditioning. The experiment consisted of an unconditioned stimulus being presented to dogs in the form of food, which caused the dogs to drool. Now, this drooling is an unconditioned response because it is fairly natural for any dog to start drooling as soon as they know they're going to get some food to eat. Now, Pavlov then introduced a neutral stimulus to the experiment in the form of a ringing bell. Now, just ringing the bell of its own didn't really cause the dogs to drool. But what Pavlov did was he started ringing the bell just before presenting the foods to the dog. And after certain of these trials, the dogs began to associate the sound of the bell to the arrival of the food. Now, what this did, it turned a previously neutral stimulus into a conditioned stimulus. And each time the dogs heard the bell ringing, they start drooling even if the food was not given to them. Now, this drooling now becomes a conditioned response because now it is a learned response to a stimulus which previously had no effect, because now this was something which got trained into the dogs that as soon as they heard the bell ringing, they will start drooling. Pavlov's experiments were groundbreaking because they demonstrated the concept of associative learning. This is the process of connecting a neutral stimulus which can result in a significant event. Now, this is not only limited to animal behavior, but it is also fundamental in understanding how humans work, how human psychology works. Now, throughout our lives and our experiences, our brain starts to develop certain associations and behavioral responses that we output as a result of a change in our environment, in our surroundings. Now, for instance, the immediate response to hearing a weird sound in the middle of the night is to quickly go check in the house to make sure everything is safe, everything is okay. Now, this is the result of our brain's conditioning and programming of creating or associating certain behavioral actions or responses in a change to our surrounding or to our environment. Now, you must be thinking how this all relates to creativity. Now, as in Pavlov's experiments, dogs started to associate the sound of bell to food, which is a pretty weird connection, right? Humans also have this incredible potential to come up with these unusual and unique connections. That is why it is extremely important for us to stretch the limits of our minds and think of the impossible, stretch our boundaries of imagination. What it will do, it will help us consume more information, Be open to different experiences in life and expand our ever-growing network of information, and our brain would able to come up with these unique connections to maximizing our creative output. In the previous video, we looked at how creativity is all about making connections and learned about the associative power of creativity. Check out the link to learn more about it. Now, let's talk about how we can increase our creative output using the concept of stimulus-response association. Before asking the question of how we can increase our creativity, we need to figure out ways on how we can increase our exposure to the changes that are happening around us, that are happening in our environment. Now, one of the key components of creativity is to think divergently. Now, this is the mode of thinking which means to look at a problem from different angles and different perspectives. In order to start practicing divergent thinking, you need to be mindful about its 4 key principles. First, defer any sort of judgment. Don't be afraid of any judgment. Now, this is one of the biggest and most common fear amongst the majority of us that keeps us from experiencing new things, because we're always afraid of what other people might think of our actions, and also our own fear of it not being the normal thing to do. Second, think of as many different ideas as you can. Don't just limit yourself to a set number of ideas. Go for the maximum possible ideas that you can think of. Third, think of the most unrealistic and unusual ideas. Now, you might think that it's not practical and you would just reject an idea just because if it's not feasible to do. Don't ignore it. Accept every idea. Don't reject any idea. Even if it's unrealistic, just note it down as part of your ideas journal or ideas log. And lastly, build on other ideas. Now, if you hear something creative or something new from someone, get inspiration from it. Figure out ways on how you can use it to build connections and come up with something completely new and completely different. Once we start practicing divergent thinking and making it part of our everyday lives, we start getting more curious, we ask more questions and figure out how certain things around us work. This is one way how we can increase our exposure to the diverse stimuli and the changes that are happening in our surrounding. Be mindful of all these changes, note it down, and figure out ways on how you can connect this to the problem that you're working on. This is where the power of stimulus-response associations really shine. You're able to take something from your environment as an input and use it to come up with something completely new and completely different. Here are some techniques that you can start applying right away to your life to increase your capability for stimulus response association in order to maximize your creative output. Start by practicing mindfulness. Be in the present of your surroundings. Pay close attention to the changes that are happening around you. What you hear, what you see, what you feel, and any changes that you can capture. Pay close attention to them and make note of it. And see how you can make connections to that with the specific problem that you're working on or a work of art that you're trying to create. Steve Jobs used to take a lot of his important work meetings by walking outside in the nature. This gave him the opportunity to capture a lot of unique environmental changes or stimuli and connected with the problems that you were working on for more new and unique creative responses. Here's a fun exercise that I love to do, which you can easily practice. When I go out on my walks, I try to create a nature soundscape. How I do this is just by hitting record button on my phone's voice recording app and just leaving it in my pocket. Now, when I come home, I play that recording and I pay close attention to the sounds that I was able to capture, particularly the ones that are really captivating my attention and really resonating with me. And then I keep playing that track on repeat and consistently listening to those sounds that I picked for myself. And then I start making connections with that sound, whatever I can create with the current problem that I'm working on and with any project that I'm working on and trying to find solutions for. Try it. It's a really fun exercise. You'll enjoy it and you'll really see your creativity grow. The second technique is to try practicing brainstorming and free writing on a regular basis. I try to do this by keeping an ideas journal all the time at my desk. Whenever I get a good idea or any unique connection or something new that I'm trying to come up with, I just write it down. Not with the intention to make it a reality sometime, but just having that opportunity to sometime revisit in the future, and maybe I'm able to build new connections at a later point just with that particular idea. So don't reject any idea, just write it down and just forget about it, and you have the chance to read it later and maybe build upon it. In the last video, we looked at the concept of flexible thinking, and this is also what you can start practicing to increase your ability to come up with unique associations and unique connections. Give yourself an opportunity to do things differently. Maybe try to take a different route to work, or maybe come up with ways to reorganize your storage space in a unique way. If your dominant hand is your right hand, maybe for once try writing your name down with your left hand and see how you feel. It will be a bit difficult for sure, but this task switching really helps our brain to be more cognitively flexible and helps our brain to learn and create new associations. You can start practicing this concept of stimulus-response association right away to increase your creativity. We looked at some practical strategies from practicing mindfulness to brainstorming to free writing and increasing your flexible thinking ability to enhance your creative output. This is extremely important, and you can make it part of your everyday routine right from this point. Trust me, your next big creative idea is just a moment of inspiration away, which might already be present around you. You just need to be attentive towards it and capture it. Thanks for joining me again in this creative exploration. My name is Faizan Kazani, and until next time, live your life with creativity.